Benjamin Lewis, and I'm happy to do this for CK-12 and HealthCorps. I want to talk to you first about plating your portions. It's important to learn what is the right size portion and not just eating till you're full. So the proper portion size for different foods has a lot to do with their calorie density. So we'll talk about chicken, fish, and beef, for example. The proteins that you get from that or from eggs are essential because of the amino acids that they bring. And most of us eat about 3 times as much protein as we can possibly incorporate into muscle, bone, brain, and enzyme function. So we need to be mindful of the fact that excess protein is not anything that we can store. It has to be excreted by our kidneys and liver. So we don't want to be protein deficient, or we'll use our healthy tissue for protein source, but we don't want to do excess because we think if some is good, more is better. Now, when it comes to other foodstuffs, fruits, grains, and vegetables, there we have differential portions. For example, in the green family, greens have very little in the way of calories. They have some protein in some cases, and there you can have a larger volume. So green vegetables such as lettuce, broccoli, spinach, cauliflower is not green, but it's a low-calorie food, and broccoli. If you have 4 heads of broccoli this big, it's only 200 calories, and approximately 30% is protein. So if you want to fill up on something that's cheap and healthy, broccoli is a good way to do it. Now, as far as fruits and grains, remember that these foods do have more calories. So even though they are healthy foods in the wrong amounts will provide excess calories. And in fruits and grains, those extra calories get converted into sugar, which is burned by muscles, used by the brain, but in excess quantities gets stored as fat. Our body releases insulin, and it converts those extra calories into fat stores. So people who eat too much sugar, even healthy sugar, for example, if you have an orange, it's a good source of nutrition. If you squeeze 6 oranges into a glass of orange juice, you now have more sugar than a can of Coca-Cola. So, in essence, you lose control of your calorie counts and your sugar. Try and keep it simple. When you're plating your foods, try and plate the foods that are large volume, low calorie, and there's a famous approach that was scientifically based by a Dr. Rolls called volumetrics. And try and plate those foods in larger volume that have no calories. The other place to go in terms of combinations would be non-caloric beverages. So water, perfect source of fluid. In young people, you want to make sure that you have enough salt to mix with your water. And in terms of other beverages, coffee and tea have no calories. And lastly would be those drinks that in fact incorporate sugar into them. Those would obviously be soft drinks or different electrolyte fluids for sports. These are great for activity when you're going to be burning those calories, but it's not the right thing to do, which is to have a lot of sugar-based calories when you're sitting still, doing homework, or not physically active. So time your fluids appropriately to the activity. And lastly, don't eat until you're full. Try and find the portion that you think will satisfy you without going overboard. And I think if you do this, it will eventually be part of connections to your heart, which is that heart healthy foods don't have to be expensive and they don't have to be complicated. In fact, the less we process food, the more nutrition we get. It's not a bad idea to think of shopping in a supermarket by going up and down the produce section and looking for whole fruits and vegetables, and then prepare them yourselves without doing much preparation. Great for snacks as well. Lastly, the effect that overeating has on your heart is obviously through sugar, through calories, through fat, and this is what leads to obesity. And we have a problem with, in the last 20 years, young people exercising less and eating more calories, and that's a bad combination. You're going to eat more, it's better to exercise more. But it's very hard to exercise enough hours in the day to burn off all the calories you can get. So it's a lot easier to start by limiting the calories, having satisfying food, adequate nutrition, and then combining that with the proper amount of exercise that you can do in a realistic amount of time, and then you'll have a successful lifestyle and a healthy heart.